There are moments when time seems to pause with you, when the air stills, when the body listens before thought arrives. Muscles tighten, breath shortens, and every sense turns towards the ground beneath your feet, alert, ancient, and alive. In those moments, time narrows. The world becomes immediate and exact, and you understand how close survival always is. Then slowly it steadies again. What was sharp begins to soften, in a gratitude so deep it bypasses language entirely. After that, something sheds, like bark loosening after a hard season, like shedding skin that is no longer needed. The body remembers what comes after darkness, the way the land exhales at first light. What remains is not fragile. It's grounded, rooted, ready. Welcome back to If These Trees Could Talk.
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are recording today, the Wonnarua people. We pay our respects to elders past and present and recognise their ongoing connection to this country, to its land, waters, seasons and stories. We also acknowledge the Palawa and Awabakal people whose country holds the stories we share today. We recognise that this land has always been a place of knowledge, survival and renewal. That long before stories were spoken into microphones, they were held by country itself, by people who understood its rhythms, its dangers and its gifts. As we move forward into this season, we do so with respect for the wisdom that has always existed here and with gratitude for the people, land and culture that continues to welcome us, guide us and teach us.
My immediate physical response was, stay still. Do not move. It is the most vulnerable I have ever felt in my entire life. Oh, it makes me teary. That's been the hardest part of it. I have had to really face the fact that one day she's not going to be around anymore. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
I know it's a month late, but here we are back for our first episode and we've got some stuff. I've got a story. And you have a little travel tale.
Little.
Let's see if we can make it little. I've given her about a 7-minute time frame. I don't know if we're going to be able to stick to it because I am a curious person. I'm going to want to know all the things and we haven't pre-discussed this. So first, I think what we'll do is start with our word of the year. We've done that each time. So where are you sitting for this year?
Thanks for giving me a heads up on this. My word is presence.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyone who knows me knows that I take a new year very seriously and I commit to big things and I just really wanted to be kind to myself this time. I didn't want to add more to what I was already doing. I just wanted to be more in the moment. And I'll talk about this more with my travel story, but my favourite moments were those moments where I really stopped and was present. So I know that you said also if I had, I can't remember how you said, like a little sentence as a follow-up or thoughts or...
Either an intention or a practice that you're going to link to that.
So I went with be where my body is.
Oh, I like that.
And after last year, I did yoga and meditation every day. I think I now know how to do that better than I knew how to do before. Still lots of learning to do. But you forget when you're not intentionally doing your yoga or your meditation, you forget in every moment to just sit back and be where your body is. So that's my 2026 goal.
I really, really love this. Actually, that's going to become a theme throughout this whole episode about presence, because you said it there, being where your body is, and you said you've got a little example in your story, and there's going to be a big example in my story too. So Megan knows what my story is.
Oh, and the further we got through the story, I was like, no, you need to stop. We need to get the podcasting gear on. I need to be recording what you're saying. So I now have to sit through this again, don't I?
You do.
And then edit it and sit through it again.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, you do.
What's your word?
It's growth, with a practice of challenging blocking beliefs. The group of girls that I hang out with every year on New Year's Eve, and our families come and stuff, we all just camp by the creek not far from where we live. And this year they said we're going to put a practice with our word. So given that I had spent a lot of time at the end of 2025 working on blocking beliefs with my therapist, I was like, I'm going to do some of this year, and this is going to play right into our story today. Before we dive in there, we might talk about our new direction for this year. I think probably before we do this, we need to address the fact that twice last year you went ghost hunting without me. And I asked the question several times, who even are you?
I don't know. I don't know who I am. I'm a bit lost.
So I have been asking that question of myself over the last few weeks, because I'm clearly rubbing off on you and you are rubbing off on me.
Uh-oh.
Leading up to the end of last year, I said to Megan was like, we need to have a team meeting. We need to just, because that's what she does. She's a motivator. And big grown-up Shannon turned up to that meeting, and I had done a business plan. I had done mission statements. I pitched it to Megan as if I was like pitching it to a bloody publisher. Megan's thing was to me, well, how do you measure success? That was the thing that she put to me, because she's not just my co-host, she's my life coach. And how do you measure success if it's not about wealth? Because I'm the least ambitious person that's ever existed in the world, and I'm not motivated by things or money, which is problematic given how much I want to travel. So I then took a deep dive into maybe 5 days of listening to really rich white men talk about measurements for success in relation to businesses, because I couldn't work it out. I tried on my own and I couldn't work it out. So I listened to these guys who normally I would never go there for growth or motivation. And I listened to them, and what I found was, in my rage and rebuttals to the things that they were saying, I found where my measurement of success sits.
Because most people would say, okay, if it's not about the wealth, is it about the number of downloads? And that's a really easy number to grab.
It is, and that's not even the motivator for me. I'm a bit like, if you build it the right, people will come. We could have 1 million downloads in an episode.
We don't.
But we could. If 1 million people listened to that and then just went on with their day and never thought about it again, that's not success to me. Even if one person listens to it and that person goes away and goes, oh, wow, that's changed the way I think or feel or behave, that's where the measurement of success fits with me, which then helped us with this little redirection. So to give you a clear explanation of what's coming this season, it's just an expansion of what we've already been doing. And for me, it felt like a really natural next step for us. It's not a departure from what we've done, but more a deepening of, I think, what we've learnt in the process. Because what we've been doing over the last 2 years, really, if you want to put your smart, rich white man hat on, is gathering data about what lands with people, what resonates, where we get listeners. And so I've used that data to my advantage and culminated it with my measurements of success and my goals for the year. This program, If These Trees Could Talk, has always been about stories discovered through place, landscapes that hold the memory of the things that we talk about, locations that witness what humans do, endure and leave behind. We've kind of been, focusing on history and true crime, mystery, unexplained. And then around the margins of that, we have looked into the humanity. And I found that that's really where my passion is. I love the stories. And I listened to our last episode from last season and I said, it's not that I'm into true crime or, the gory details. I love true crime. Like, it's one of my favourite genres. And I am into it. I kind of caught myself out there when I said that. But it's not for that shock value or the gruesomeness or the fact that it's the highest gauging podcast genre. It's the humanity that comes within those stories. So I think what I want to do is take what we've been skating around the edges of and make that more intentional.
And I think this is our common ground, to be able to understand why somebody with a completely different background to me would make a choice that they make. That is what I find fascinating. So I love reading biographies of people who have grown up in a world that's completely different to mine, just so I can try and understand something that I'll never be able to experience myself.
Yeah, and I think I'm just intensely curious about every single thing. People and what goes on in their heads and, how people get into that situation. I think I have always been someone who has been quite black and white, and through therapy and growth and all of the things that I've done over the past few years, I've really found myself sitting in that grey area in between with a lot more, I don't even know the word to describe it. Like, I feel a lot more comfortable there, and it's okay if I don't have the answers to all of the things. So I feel like I've almost given myself permission to say, well, I can explore these things without having a clear-cut answer, which will absolutely infuriate Tim because he does not want a mystery. He wants to know the answers. Yeah, those parts are, I think there's stories that I've wanted to tell that I haven't because I feel like I need to have the answers to the things. And I don't think we need to have the answers.
There are no answers.
Sometimes there's just not. So if these trees could talk, we'll stay the same. And then what we're going to do is introduce a new branch to our tree, which is called What Would They Say? And this is still part of the same ecosystem of If These Trees Could Talk. It's just rooted differently. Can you hear all of my tree analogies in here? Branch, ecosystem, rooted. I'm nailing the branding. So where If These Trees Could Talk listens to land and place, What Would They Say? Will listen to people. Just everyday voices, not celebrity hardship, because that genre is covered. It's not for exposure or, extra likes. I'm not interested in wanting to know why Meghan Markle's laugh is so hard. I want to know why somebody who has been through something that's unimaginable to me can come out the other side and I can look at them and aspire to want to be like that person. I want to know what the wisdom is in those moments. And so that's where this arm is kind of going to go. Real stories with real people, lessons, perspective, quiet wisdom that comes from living through some of these really hard things. It's not performative. It's not a confessional, it's just an exploration of the things that people hold and maybe ask the questions, if people knew this thing about me, what would they say? So now that we've got the housekeeping out of the way, I do have one more really exciting thing to share with our listeners, but I'm going to save that for the end. We ended last season on Megan's going to Tasmania. Megan has been to Tasmania. Tell us all about it.
So I just got back last night, so I'm a bit flat today, knowing I've got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, that sucks. Reality's the worst.
Yeah. Look, it was amazing. It was everything that you said it was going to be and more. It was spectacular.
Did it get you the same way?
Yes, but probably not the moments that you would expect. Upon reflection, our family do holidays, and maybe everybody does Tasmania this way. Maybe you did it this way on your first trip too, but we've got to see all of the things.
Yep.
I'm there for 10 days. I want to see as much as I can, and we covered a lot of ground. We did Hobart to the west coast, to Launceston, to the east coast, and back down to Hobart. So we, in 10 days, covered a lot, and we wanted to see so much. But my favourite moments were really when I stopped and did nothing. And that is on my birthday, when I was just sitting on a rock and a platypus just hung out with me for about 45 minutes. I know, all the way to handing our camper van back and just being given a couple of hours in this cottage with a shower and some space.
Yeah.
That was amazing too.
Yep.
Because I slowed down and I saw amazing things. And we've got a collection of beautiful photos and songs.
Great songs, really great songs. I've been getting one every day that I get to listen to on the way to work.
I think maybe because my memory's not great, I like to have something at the end of a holiday, whether it's a journal or a photo book. It moved to videos a little while ago.
A podcast?
And yes, Japan was a podcast, which we loved doing. And this time I wanted to be more present. Not surprisingly, the podcast took a lot of holiday time. When everyone else is asleep, I'm trying to edit that. So my biggest fans, Shannon, Mum and my mother-in-law, we could get it out to them so they knew when they woke up the next day that they hadn't missed out on our holiday. And we love listening back to it and remembering things that you wouldn't remember, things that you can't capture in a photo.
100%.
The podcast set the bar pretty high.
I did, yeah.
So this time we used an AI song creator. So each day was wrapped up in a song of a different genre.
Some of the genres were better than others, I thought. The first song did have a section in it, in the chorus, about, and Shannon's a little bit jealous. And it was right. Every day as I was going to work and I was getting your song about the day before, there were moments where I was like, I probably can't say what I was thinking because your mum's listening. But there were moments where I was intensely jealous of, yeah.
Well, let's just play a little snippet, that day one chorus right now. And Shannon, that was our mantra for the entire holiday. Just in, you didn't know, but just in our little camper van, every time we saw something cool, Tom was like, "Oh, Shannon's a little bit jealous right now."
She was.
And here's another one, which is my favourite because we do have to shout out to our Scots for what they do.
That is very good at holidays. Come and stay through all the day. From when the side of the country drives, everyone needs a Scot in their lives.
What was your favourite place in the whole of Tassie?
Oh, you can't. What's your favourite place?
Maybe Corinna.
You picked a place I didn't go to.
Yeah, but Corinna was on our last trip, which was my 6th trip to Tasmania. And I think it was my favourite place because I seen a pink robin and that was on my bucket list. And it was really mossy and twisted trees, quite ancient, untouched wilderness. So I think that's why that might be my favourite place ever. The thing that gets me about Tassie more than anything is that you can just be driving, like on a road, like we do every day, driving to work, driving to your mum's house, driving, anywhere to see a friend, whatever. Even those roads in Tassie that I'm assuming that Tasmanians take every day, like there are moments where you turn around a corner and you just go, holy shit. It's a new landscape. It's a new environment. Driving around Mount Roland, which is sort of in the centre, north of the centre, and getting Mount Roland from different aspects, like that part was just magical to me. Yeah, so I there has to be a place that stood out.
Well, the mossy rainforest type is beautiful. So for me, that was Russell Falls.
Yep.
But we walked too fast. We just had a lot we needed to get done that day. But then the Gordon River cruise where and our boat was quite empty, so it was just, the four of us a lot of the time just...
Did you get great weather?
Yes, it was really hot.
Did you get the glassed off water?
We did in the morning where we camped right on Macquarie Heads.
Yep.
And I loved that I already knew about these places before I went, by the way. I was impressing everybody with my knowledge of Hell's Gates and stuff because I already knew about it. Thank you, Kaya. It was all beautiful. And then the man-made stuff as well, like those cute little country towns with their adorable little shops. And I went to so many bookshops.
It's like stepping back in time, the whole place. And did you notice that everything is slower? Probably not you.
Not us,
like
but
you
yes.
were going at 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
But life there seems slower.
Yeah.
No one's in a rush.
Yeah.
People
Except
aren't
for us.
road raging you out your window as you drive through major cities.
Yeah. And my friend has, she's an author and she has a writer's cottage, and it was built by a convict and it's a heritage listed building, and it was just absolutely the cutest little thing. She's moved from Sydney to this little place and she just sits looking out her window, doing her writing every day, living the dream.
Shannon is a little bit jealous. Now we're going to move to something not so lovely.
All right, I'm ready.
It's going to start off as something lovely because part of my thing that I was talking about, the growth with the practice of challenging blocking beliefs, one of my actions is called learnable lessons, extracting wisdom even from what feels unteachable. And I have extracted the wisdom from this situation.
So there will be something nice at the end of this horrifying story.
There will be. Now, going back to the word of the year thing, do you get the Chinese zodiac thing? So like the year of.
Yeah.
So last year was the year of the snake, which is kind of like about shedding and rebirth, and which I was mildly aware of. Like I see it pop up in Instagram reels and stuff. I loosely knew that that's what it was. Now, over New Year, I mentioned that we go camping with our friends and we set intentions. We had a really lovely time over those couple of days, but I, because I am turning into Megan, was really looking forward to coming home and having that one day where I could sit down, put all of this, because I make a screensaver for my computer that's all pretty and has lovely photos and has all of my stuff on it so I can see it every single day. And I was really looking forward to doing that and setting some of these actionable things in there. And everybody had headed off back to, getting ready to go to work and stuff. And the mums, me and Rachel, our friend who you've heard on the podcast before, and my other friend Kelly, decided that we would just go back for just one last little bit without the kids. So we had the whole space for ourselves. We had creek swims and we did art, and I watched a kingfisher fight a kookaburra for something that had just caught off the ground. It was so, so lovely. We had a really, really great time. But this thing that I really wanted to do and get all of this on paper, I chose going back to the creek and trying to extend that joy that I'd had up there for a little bit longer and procrastinated on the thing that I really, really wanted to do, which is not unusual for me at all. Like, I am a massive procrastinator. So we went back up there, we swam, we did all the beautiful things. I came home, the boys were out, and I was like, I've got a couple of hours where I can just sit and work on this stuff. And this has all worked out perfectly. I've had joy and I'm going to do the things. So I get home, I'm just in my swimmers, wrapped in a towel. I unpack the back of the car, take all of the things inside. Now, for you to know this story, I have to give you a visual of my house. My house is old, and it's probably 120 years old. You go out the back kitchen door into like a long sunroom that runs the full length of the back of the house. Just adjacent to the kitchen door is the door to the backyard. At the opposite end of that room is the door to the toilet and the door to the laundry. So I go out through the back door, kitchen door is open. I go out, hang the towel on the line, come back into the dining room. I was home by myself. So I stripped off my swimmers, threw the dress that I had been wearing earlier in the day over the top, went out, hung my swimmers on the line, and the plan was I was going to head to the toilet and then I was going to go and have a shower. So I come back in, shut the door, went into the toilet, and that was great. I'm sitting on the toilet doing the thing, and I hear this little in the back room. I have a little dog. Her name is Marla. She's amazing. We love her. Megan saved her from a dam when she was a puppy.
She could swim.
I
didn't need to save her.
But Megan immediately jumped in.
Ruined my proper sheepskin Ugg boots
to save the puppy. Yes.
Who didn't need saving.
But that was commitment, Megan.
We love
well done
Marla.
You. We do love Marla. Tiny little miniature poodle, just the cutest thing, doesn't realise she's a dog. So there is a princess element there, but we do joke often that she's not like a pretty poodle. She's a bush poodle. Like, she's a bit feral, kind of looks like a shaggy muppet, you know. So I hear the little scurry in the back room. Not unusual for Marla to be chasing a lizard out from somewhere, or, you know, we get those big skinks at home. And I hear the scurry, and then I look down because I caught something in my peripheral vision, and an eastern brown snake came in under the toilet door. So I lift my feet off the ground because that was the only immediate reaction to that. And the snake obviously clocked me because of the movement. And it was like, nope. And it turned around and went back out into the back room. And there was just like a little second there where I was like, did I just imagine that? I did not put my feet back down though, which was great, because the snake was then met with Marla in the back room and went, I'm going to take my chances in that room with the human, and turned around and come straight back in under the door. I just got goosebumps up my legs thinking about that moment when it came back in. So when I say the toilet, I'm not talking about like a bathroom that has a toilet in it. I'm talking about just a toilet room, which is the size of a small closet. Mm-hmm. So it's me, and we later found it was a 1.1 metre eastern brown snake in a room that's maybe 1.1 metres across and 2 metres wide. Like, it's a tiny, tiny room. And I'm sitting on the toilet with my legs up in the air thinking, what? And this snake is thrashing. It was as scared as I was. It needed an out. It was not choosing the dog. And so it was frantically moving around the room, kind of coming up the wall a little bit. It was looking for somewhere to get out. So he was agitated and pretty cranky.
So for our international listeners, the eastern brown is the second most venomous snake in the world.
Second most venomous snake in the world. We have all of them here. How exciting. Yeah. But yes, second most venomous to the fierce snake, but the fierce snake is mostly...
Is this the inland taipan?
Inland taipan, which is also known as the fierce snake. While that was happening, Marla understood that Mum was locked in the toilet with the danger noodle, And so she was sniffing along the door. She did not bark. She didn't growl. She didn't make a noise, but she was sniffing along the bottom of the door. And for context, the gap between the toilet door and the floor is probably about an inch. Like it's not a huge gap, but it's enough.
Enough for a snake to get in there.
Well and truly enough for a snake to get in there. Not enough for Marla to get her nose right under there, which is a really, really good thing. So as Marla would put her nose down and sniff, the snake would draw up in the strike position. So it kind of, its body moves into that S shape, thinking that her nose was coming under the door and he was going to strike her nose the minute Marla was the biggest threat to him in that moment. But as he would draw up, and I need to be clear, I am not someone who does thigh or core muscle exercises, possibly ever in my life. So sitting on a toilet, holding my legs straight out in front of me without support, while a chunky brown snake thrushes around underneath it, not only was my concern was I could get bitten here, and my immediate physical response was stay still. Do not move. I knew that was my only chance because the snake was not okay, I was not okay, and the minute that I moved, I then became the bigger threat. So my goal was to make it feel safe, but I also knew that my capability to hold my legs in that position was not going to last forever. Like about 30 seconds into the experience when my muscles started to shake, I was like, I could be in trouble here. I'm going to have to put my legs down at some point. Anyway, turns out I can hold them up for 11 whole minutes.
Isn't the body fascinating if it wants to survive?
Amazing.
Very specific, by the way, 11 minutes.
Well, we know I've measured and I'll explain to you why. So it's thrashing around. I remember that my phone is in my pocket, but my commitment is to not move. And I want to be clear that this snake just can't lay out full length ways. And at no point did it just curl up in a corner. It was going round and round and it was moving the whole time. So I slid my hand, which I think I had maybe tucked in near my boobs, down the side of my body as slow as I possibly could and grabbed my phone from my pocket and I pulled it out and I dialed Scott's number. Because everybody should have a Scott.
Everyone needs a Scott in their life, except in this case he was useless.
He was 20 minutes away. And so he's asking some questions like, I don't think he initially understood that I was in the toilet. Like I think I said, there's a brown snake in the toilet. And he's like, okay, we'll just keep an eye on it. And I'm like, I have no fucking choice because I'm in the toilet too. And he's like, oh. And, like, he's thinking it's just like a little one, you know.
Yeah. Stop being so dramatic, Shannon.
Yes, yeah. My poor mentally ill partner is turning this into a big dramatic event. He said to me, how big is it? And I'm like, it's big. And he's like, well, I'm 20 minutes away. And I'm like, okay, well, can you just please get here as soon as you can? Marla's at the door and will not leave. And until she leaves, this snake will not leave this room. For clarity, the door to the toilet comes inwards, like it's a swinging door, and it comes inwards. So there is no way I could have opened that door with my legs out in front of me. I would have had to put my feet on the ground to be able to do that. There was one point Scott said, well, I think he thought it was in the back room and he's like, just get Marla in the toilet with you. I'm like, the snake is in here. Like, no.
You trying to tell that story without your lips moving too.
Don't move. I thought my lips and face was pretty safe, but I knew that my arms were in strike distance. Like when it pulled back into that S shape, ready to strike at the door, I was very aware that basically from my neck down was capable of taking a bite from that snake. So Scott says to me, is Kelly home? I said, yes. He said, call her. I'm like, great. So I hang up from him and I dial Kelly's number. And we had seen a snake at the creek earlier that day. Kelly had stepped over it and we'd had a bit of a laugh about it. And so I wondered if she'd believe me, like that she might have thought it was a joke.
It is coming across that you dramatise things. Why would people not believe that this is true?
It's just such an unbelievable situation. So I call Kelly and I said to her, I'm locked in my toilet with a brown snake. I need you to come to the side gate, like straight away, and call Marla. And she's like, okay, yep, can do. So she hangs up. Then Scott calls back.
God, I hope it's on silent. Is it on silent?
It wasn't on silent. So I had to hit answer really, really quick, which was okay because I had my arms tucked in here, right? Like people can't see. So like I'm tucked in like I'm holding a microphone to my mouth. Like everything was tucked in. The snake at this point goes in behind the toilet. It had been in around the back of the toilet a few times, but I could see its tail, and so then he'd come back out the other side. And he went in behind the toilet, but then must have turned around. And so for maybe a minute while he was behind the toilet, I could not see him, but I could hear him moving. I have a little bin and a toilet brush like on either side, and so I could hear them moving as he pushed past. And my thought was, he's going to climb the back of the toilet and he could come out over my leg or over my shoulder. And if that happens, I just cannot move. I just have to let him do his thing and just not move. That is the only choice. That is the only way I get out of this without a little strike from his toothy pegs. So he didn't do that, thank God. But even like the clarity in that, in those moments, like
you were very present.
I was very present in that moment.
Good mindfulness there.
It wasn't by choice. I'm very fascinated about the human reaction to crisis. I'd really love to understand more because I feel like that might be the most clarity I have ever had in my life. Now, let me talk about my crisis team just for a second because these guys need to be acknowledged. Kelly called Rachel, who then made phone calls to like rescue services and just trying to find someone, because I'd only thought as far as getting Marla away from the door so she wouldn't get bitten. Kelly was like, if we take Marla away but the snake doesn't come out, what the hell do we do then? Like, how do we save Shannon? So she'd formatted that plan. I hadn't thought that far ahead. She's making these calls to Rach and Rach is like, yep, I'll do that. Kelly's gathering the things at her house. Rachel's husband overhears this conversation. He then makes a call to another friend who lives closer to us than he does. And he's like, the girls might need help. Get to Shannon's house. So then he enacts and he's on his way as well. We're probably about 9 minutes in. It's probably taken me more than 9 minutes to tell this story.
It definitely has. And I'm not editing it because I don't want to listen to it again.
Okay, great. So the snake comes in behind the toilet and kind of got jammed between where the bin was and the wall and couldn't get through, which caused him to sort of like twist his body up for that muscle movement to try and push past. And as he did, just a little portion of his like stomach area went out underneath the door, and Marla grabbed him and reefed him out of that room in a way that I can only explain, like, you know, in Hollywood movies when like the door comes off a plane and people start getting sucked out of the plane. That's how the snake got sucked out of the room. It was just like this boom, and he was gone. I could hear the flick, flick, flick in the back room. And so I opened the door a little bit, but I did not put my feet down because I was like, if she lets go of it, it's coming straight back in here. I opened the door a little bit and she dropped it and it took a couple of strikes at her. So she then repositioned, grabbed it, and tried to pull it out through the dog door in the back room, like to get it into the backyard. She failed because the dog door closed on the snake. So she let it go, and then she's outside, I'm in the toilet, the snake is on the ground in the back room between me and any possible exit. So I still couldn't do anything as yet. And I'm trying to reassess. And as I'm doing that, the dog door just slowly opens. And I can't see her face. I can only see the door opening. And she's just watching the snake. And as it's moving around and it's in the right position, she grabs it and reefs it again to try and get it out the dog door. The door closes on the snake. She drops it. And I'm like, surely she's not going to try this again. Like, it's going to bite her. And I'm yelling at this point, Marla, no, sit, drop, like all of the commands that I think that she might listen to, not listening to any of them. The dog door starts to open again. This time she grabs it and reefs it with so much force that it pulls, like it was a big snake. The dog door is a closed fit. Like she had to reef that with so much force to get the door to fully pull through with the snake and come out the other side so she could get it out. We then have the security camera footage of her fighting it near the back door. She has 3 goes. While that happens, the snake's out. I take off through the house, out the front door and around to the side gate. By this stage, she's got it up on the grass. She's flicking it around all over the place. And I just yell, Marla, drop, come. And she just drops it.
Because she realised you were okay.
Do dogs think like that?
I don't know.
Because everything feels like every decision she made in that situation was to get that as far away from me as possible.
You. Yeah.
I love that dog. Mm. She comes, I get her out the front. I'm watching the snake and where it is in the backyard, and Kelly pulls up out the front.
Too late, mate.
It's okay. Marla saved me. We're all good. And then our friend Mick turns up, and unfortunately, the snake did not make it. Marla had pierced its internal organs and he did not live to see another day. However, Charlie did enjoy measuring him. And that's why we know he was 1.1 metres long. I thought he might have been a juvenile because when he was angry and he'd flatten his neck out, I could see the black band there, but you couldn't see it when he was just sort of more settled, which I think Eastern Browns often have black bands when they're juveniles. I watch a lot of Venom Diaries.
Why? I will never be you in that sense.
Billy from the reptile park is amazing. He's just the coolest dude ever. And I've learnt so much about snakes. And honestly, I think if I didn't know the things that I'd learnt from him, I may have been far less capable in that moment of, not running away.
I think the reptile park talk actually cured my fear of snakes too.
Yeah. They do amazing work. And if there's one takeaway, one call to action that I'm going to ask you to do from this podcast episode, please get yourself a snake bandage. You can buy them at the reptile park. You can buy snake kits online. There are ones that have little patterns on them so you can see when it's at the correct tautness to be able to slow down your lymphatic system if you do happen to get bitten. Please buy a snake bandage. Maybe buy 3. Keep one in your house, one in your car, one in your camping kit.
It's good advice because we have one, but I couldn't tell you where it is right now.
Yeah. Well, I think you should know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, if you just see one and you're not trapped in a toilet with them for 11 minutes. They really are more scared of you than you are of them, and the chances of it biting you are so low, and the chances of that bite having venom in it so low. Like, you don't need to walk around with this intense fear.
No, I have come across snakes in like bushwalking and camping and stuff so often. There's only once that I've ever been struck at, and again, that was in my backyard after the snake had been agitated by my dog. I had been looking for her. She'd been quite quiet, and I thought she'd got out under the back fence, and I went up looking to see if she'd dug out under the back gate, and the snake was up there and it lunged at me out of the grass. I was saved by a croc that day, not a crocodile, like a shoe. That is the only time, and it was dark. The snake was already quite agitated because of the dog. I have been near tiger snakes, eastern browns, red belly blacks, green tree snakes, diamond pythons in the wild on several occasions. Never once have I been struck at. Never once have I been in a situation where if I stepped back and gave that snake space, you know, they always go in the opposite direction. We are not their food. They are not interested in biting us unless they absolutely have to. And it's only when they feel threatened or cornered that that will happen. So the best thing you can do is just give it space and they'll go on their merry way.
Now, I'm assuming that everybody needs to know if Marla was okay.
Well, that's the next part of the story, and that could have its whole own episode. I went over her with a fine-tooth comb. I could see no evidence of a bite site, but she is quite a fluffy little dog. Her heart was going at 100 miles an hour. She was salivating, rapid panting, which are all signs of a snake bite, but they were also signs of anxiety in Marla that I have seen many, many times before. I felt cautiously confident that she hadn't been bitten. I did check her gums for markings so I could assess them, because gum hemorrhaging is often a sign of snake bite in dogs. But it was late on a Saturday afternoon. I think our nearest option would have been
Newcastle.
Newcastle or the Central Coast. And I think she's tiny, and under her fluff she is like, her legs are the size of my little finger. I don't think, had she been bitten, she would have made it to one of the hospitals that were open during those hours. So we made some choices. I said to Scott, I just want to lay with her and settle her. If I notice any change in her gums, we will go straight away. But realistically, she is going to die before we get there. So I took her in and I snuggled with her, and I made the choice that if I was going to lose her, I wanted it to be in her home with me. Oh, it makes me teary. That's been the hardest part of it, the thought of thinking that one day she's not, like, I have had to really face the fact that one day she's not going to be around anymore. We have a codependency that's not healthy. That's when the tears come and the nervous system breakdown. You know, like, in those moments, I was super clear and present, and the minute Kelly came up the driveway, I just fell into her arms and I become like a shaking mess. And then when I had to think about Marla, which was obviously very, very soon after, once we knew that the snake was deceased, that I then had to think about her. And that was the hardest portion of that whole scenario. So we are very lucky that she's still here, and I feel very grateful. And I know that people say, oh, it's instinct and it's got nothing to do with you. But I don't care what you say. My dog saved me, and I love her. And my community. Like, to have those people just willing to drop everything in their day and come to your rescue is just like so unfathomable. Like, I don't even have words to describe the gratitude that I have for them. It is the most vulnerable I have ever felt in my entire life. And I'm okay now. I haven't been scared. I can use the toilet and I'm okay. There's been no big trauma responses. We've had a massive clean out at home. I've been through because we don't actually know where the snake come from. My thought is Scott had the mower parked near the back door, and maybe when I opened the door and went out, I scared it and it come into the house. But it's quite possible I had a tub of art supplies at the creek with us that I just picked up and put in the car and brought home. It's quite possible I brought it home from the creek. If the snake was in there, it had had a bumpy ride in the back of the ute back from the creek, and for the first time it was in a quiet spot, and he might have went, okay, now's my chance to get out, and come through the house and was met by the dog. Poor Snakey. But yeah, the moral of the story is get yourself some snake bandages, people. Mm-hmm. Please do that because you just don't know. I think maybe we probably hear about them more now because we've got social media and stuff and people post about it all the time. But this year has been, within that couple of days, I had 2 people who live close by who one had lost an alpaca and one of them had lost a border collie to brown snake bites. So often when they bite, it will be a dry bite. So it is really important to stay calm if you are ever bitten. The best thing you can do is lie down and stay as calm as possible with the least amount of movement as possible. That is absolutely the best thing you can do. If you can call out to someone who can arrange help for you, get them to do that. Yeah. The slower your lymphatic system is, the best chance you've got to making it to a hospital before that venom starts having a significant effect on your body. So, yeah, that's our warning. We're still smack bang in the middle of summer, so get yourself some snake bandages, people. Me talking about the year of the snake and the horse earlier and the Chinese zodiac. So it actually changes over, I think, is tonight the new moon? I think tonight or maybe last night was the new moon. Their calendar works with the lunar cycle. So it'll be the first new moon of the year is when it changes over. So the snake was about shedding, and the year of the horse, which is what we're coming into. And the Chinese zodiac has an element attached to it. So this year it's the fire horse, and it is considered to be a year of luck and opportunity for progress, passion, growth, favouring bold actions, innovation and social connections.
Oh, yay!
Yes. It's given me some confidence in my witchy vibes because this has happened before I knew it was the year of the horse, and this idea and the changes and me pitching stuff to Megan. So maybe part of it is you rubbing off on me, and maybe part of it is just the energy, and that's the idea of the Chinese zodiac. It's not about personality. It's about the collective energy of the world. So I'm feeling pretty in line with it this year. And with that, and talking about connection, we might mention what we've got coming up. So in May, we will be holding our first podcast-based event, which is called If These Trees Can Heal. And it is a 3-day self-care retreat. Any female that listens within our community is welcome to come along. However, numbers are capped for this space. The place that we are going is in the Central Coast hinterland. It is absolutely beautiful. We will probably do an episode on how I ended up at this property later on, and we can explain a bit more about that then. But Megan had some specific ideas about what she might have liked when I attended that weekend. And so what I've done is kind of packaged all of that up and put it together so we can all go and have that experience as a group. So you don't need to be a seasoned camper. You can have never camped before. We will be camping independently. So we'll have our own little setups. And at the same time, it will be a really beautiful, supported environment. I'm going to cook. We're going to have breath work and yoga and meditation and some nature-based crafting. But you can get all of the details for the retreat and you can register your interest at our website, which is ifthesetreescouldtalk.com.au. Megan's nodding at me like, well done, you remembered that. So pop over there, have a read. If it sounds like something that you're interested in, there's a little button there that you can press that will take you to a form that you can register your interest. And for anybody who registers, we will send the booking information to you guys directly first before we let our listener community know that bookings are open. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to sharing the space with you and some of our listeners and getting to meet people who listen. And I just need to be really clear that it's going to be capped. So it's a small group. So it's not something that you can sit on until the weekend before and go, oh yeah, I might go along to that. I think it will sell out quickly. So yeah, get your name on the registration list. I will have some snake bandages on hand, but I think given that it's May, that won't be too much of a problem. But there'll be lots of chill time and, you know, it's just going to be really, really beautiful. So pop over to the website, have a read of what it's about, and if you think you're a good fit, then chuck your name down and then you'll get more info about it as it comes.
I'm so excited.
I'm so glad you're excited. It was all of the things that you told me you wanted all wrapped up in a perfect little neat bundle. So,
and this all happened while I was away on holidays.
Yeah.
And I came back and here it is.
Because I'm a horse and I am just charging. I am on fire. So part of this episode too is about our listeners being my accountability buddies, because I don't know how long I can sustain this level of energy.
I thought that this morning as I confirmed that word, I thought this is a really good way of doing it.
It's
absolutely makes us very accountable.
It does. It does. So I'd be really interested to hear if other people in our community have words or intentions or goals that they set at the beginning of the year. Maybe we can be accountability buddies for each other. So I'll pop a thing up on socials and people can pop their words in and stuff if they want some accountability buddies too. So as we move into this new season, the What Would They Say section is not going to begin till March. So you'll have February. That's just our normal scheduling. And then in March, we're going to go to weekly episodes.
And you've got some fun speakers lined up.
I have got some great speakers lined up that I'm really, really excited about. Just watch this space. There's some cool stuff happening. And some will flow from one to the other because they have a really amazing story. And then some wisdom to offer as well. So they'll cross over between both platforms. You guys don't have to do anything. The socials will stay the same. Your Spotify feeds and Apple podcast feeds and everything are going to stay the same. Both programs are going to be on the one feed. So they'll just be there. You'll just get us once every week instead of once a fortnight. But there'll be more clarity because I think we'd kind of merged between the two worlds previously. So if you're really into listening to interviews with incredible people, you're going to know that comes out on this week. And if you want your true crime, mystery, spooky history stuff, then you know that's going to come out on that week. So you can, take part in what you want. And if you want to take part in both, great. I hope everybody gets something from both branches of our little tree. As we move into that, I hope that you carry a little bit of curiosity with you about what you're shedding and about what's asking to move and what might be waiting just beyond the stillness of now. There's no rush to have any of it figured out. Sometimes the most important shifts happen quietly in the spaces where we listen rather than push. Wherever you're standing right now, we are grateful you are here walking alongside us as this new chapter begins.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of If These Trees Could Talk. If you would like to access more about the places or information included in today's topic, please visit our website ifthesetreescouldtalk.com.au. If you would like to follow us on our adventures, check us out on Facebook or Insta. Our creative writer is Shannon Walters and our podcast is produced at Bellevue Studio in the Hunter Valley with audio production by Megan Anderson. We love to hear your feedback, so please rate and review, and if you would like to hear more, please subscribe. We look forward to you joining us for our next adventure.